Yo, what's up everyone, this is Asadullah Chaudhary, and in this video lesson I'm going to talk about how to make this particular layout. So this is going to be layout number 2, so let's get started. Let me open up my Microsoft Paint. This is what exactly we're going to make today. Alright, so here's my Microsoft Paint, and I'm gonna create the wrapper, the page wrapper, and its ID is gonna be, let me reduce the text size. I think it should be 28 pixels. Yes, 28 pixels looks perfect. Right, it's gonna be div ID and wrapper. Okay, so now I'm going to create this header. And this is my header. Perfect. Okay, and let me give it an ID. Div ID header and right underneath the header there's a big gray section, and here you can put the huge image, or you can put the image slideshow, image carousel, or whatever. Okay, so let me create this section. The background color. Okay, and it's the div tag is gonna be ID, and you can call it banner or whatever. Okay, so right underneath the banner I have to create these circles now. So I would like to put my circles inside a container. So for this, first of all, I'll be making the circles. I think I should copy these circles instead, just to save the time. I'm going to copy these circles and I'm going to paste them over here. So these circles will be contained by a container. So let me put some outline to this container. This container. It looks pretty ugly right now. I'm talking about the container, but do not worry, I'll remove the border as soon as the template is completed. It will look like this. Okay, so what else is remaining? Now I have to put this grid over there. So all I have to do is to copy this grid and paste it onto my document. Paste. Grid has been pasted. And now I have to write the markup related to this container. Div ID circle container, or whatever, whichever you like. I mean, whichever suits you, but make sure whichever ID you choose, that should make some sense. Alright, so now I have to write the code for these circles. This time I'm gonna pick the color of these circles, and now I'm gonna write the markup. Div I actually this time it's not gonna ID, it's gonna be class. As you can see, I applied the same styles to these three circles. So instead of ID, I'll be using class instead. So the class selector is gonna be circle. So far so good. And now what else is remaining? Now it's the grid. So before going to the grid, I would like to put my grid inside a container like above. Okay, so I would like to put another container. This time the color of my container is gonna be purple. It's magenta, and there it is. This border will also be removed, so do not worry about it, because currently it looks ugly. Okay, div ID grid container. It's my grid container. And this is my grid. Sorry, this time it's also gonna be class, because I'm gonna apply the same styles to these 6 boxes. So in order to apply the same style to a group of elements, so you'll be using the class selector instead of ID. Grid or box, whatever. Alright, so the footer is remaining now. So now I have to go for the footer. I think I should copy this footer instead. Copy. And paste it over here. Let me fix this. Actually, I have to use this line. This should be black instead of green. Black line, and then I'm gonna connect this line with this one. Okay, so now it looks a bit better. Perfect. So this is what we're gonna make today. Okay, so now let me go ahead and open up my text editor. This time I'm going to use Sublime Text Editor 3. I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to save it inside a directory that I haven't created yet. So the directory is going to be layout 2. The file name is going to be index.html. I would need another file, and this time it's gonna be CSS style sheet that I would like to put inside public, and then public will be containing another directory which is gonna be CSS, and CSS is the directory where I supposed to put my CSS file. CSS. Alright, so now I have to generate my markup. It is ready for me, and on line number 4 I'm gonna put meta char set. This line is mandatory for all of your HTML pages. It's gonna be UTF-8 layout number 2 English tutorial. Alright, I have to link my external style sheet, which is inside public CSS, and the file name is style.css. Alright, so now I'm gonna quickly write my markup, and this is what I'm talking about. First of all, I have to create the wrapper, and the wrapper will be containing all of the internal elements. The wrapper, I have to give it an ID, and the ID is gonna be wrapper. Okay, so first of all, I have to create a header inside the wrapper. So now I have to create the header now, and right after the header I have to create the banner. And right underneath the banner I have to create this circle container. Circle container. As you can see, the circle container is containing these 3 circles. So now I have to create these 3 circles. So I'll be using only the div tag. Class, the class for circle. I have to copy this line and paste it twice because I would need 3 circles. Okay, and the next one is another container, which is a grid container. That should be right after this circle container. Grid container, and the grid container will be containing 1 2 3 4 6 boxes. So now I supposed to create 6 div tags, and I'm gonna give it an ID. The ID is gonna be box. I have to copy this line and paste it 6 times. 2 3 4 5 and 6. Perfect. So now it's a footer's turn. So now I have to create the footer. Footer would be right after this grid container. Footer. Alright, so now I'm going back to my CSS style sheet. So I have to put some text inside so that it can appear in my developers tool. Author Asad. I'm gonna open it up in my web browser, and the web browser is gonna be Mozilla Firefox. And I'm gonna quickly open up my style editor so I can start writing the styles. The first style is gonna be the reset style, padding 0, margin 0. The next line is going to be the wrapper, solid. Okay, so the third line is going to be header. I'm going to give it some height. Height is going to okay, so the height is going to be 100 pixels, and the background color, I have to choose the background color now. So I'm gonna open up W3 Schools, and I would like to use the color picker of the W3 Schools. Here it is. So what was the color that I supposed to choose? It's dark sea green. There it is. I would choose the darker tone, this one. Copy and background color, paste. Perfect. So next I have to target the banner. I have to give it some height. The height is gonna be 400 pixels. Background color is gonna be, that was gray color, I guess. This one, the light gray color. Alright, it looks perfect. Okay, so now I have to target this circle container. I think I should put my style editor over here so you can see the changes. Circle container, border, and border is gonna be the same one that I chose. That was, I guess, something like this. Solid. Alright, so as you can see, the border has been appeared, and I'm gonna reduce its width. The width is gonna be 50%. How about 70%? I think the 70% looks perfect. Alright. So now I have to target the circle, and I'm gonna give it some height. 100 pixels, width 100 pixels. Now I have to apply the background color, which was the beige color. There it is. Background color. Here's the background color of my circles. I think I should increase the size of these circles. Alright, so I increase their width and size from 100 pixels to 200 pixels, and let me expand this tuple. Okay, so now I have to make a perfect circle. So all I have to do is to write border radius property, which is 200 pixels. Alright, so it became a perfect circle now. Furthermore, I'll need to use this extension, border radius 200 pixels. I needed to give it a bigger value, so to make it a perfect circle. So that's why I gave it 200 pixels border radius. So that's the reason I use 200 pixels. Alright, so now I have to put these circles side by side. So as you know, I'm going to use the float property now. Float left. So the circles are side by side now. So now I have to add up some margins to the sides of the circles, and the margin is going to be margin left 50 pixels, I think I should increase the circle size. And I should also increase the width of circle container. Now it looks perfect. Now I have to clear the floors, so I'm going to use the same technique that I'll be using in the previous tutorial. I'm talking about layout number 1. Content display block, clear both. Right, so now I have to put this container in the center of this page. So all I have to do is to write, let me show you how. It's gonna be margin 50 pixels from top, 50 pixels from top and bottom actually, and I think it should be 70 pixels instead of 50. 70 pixels from top and bottom, and auto from left and right. So as you can see, the circles has been adjusted in the center of the page. I think I should make it 80% instead of 75. 80%, and I should increase the margins between the circles. Was perfect. So now I should increase the width of this container. And the margins between the circles as well. 70, how about 80, 90 pixels and 95 pixels. Uh, 93 pixels looks fine. All right. So now I have to remove this border from its container. So now everything looks perfect. If you can see the page looks like this. Okay, so now I have to create this bottom part. I'm talking about the grid container. I'm going to target the grid container now. Grid container, and border is gonna be purple solid. Width is gonna be same as the circle container, that was 88%. Just to put my grid in the center of the page, I use the margin 0 auto property. Alright, so now I have to target the grids. I'm talking about the boxes inside this container. So I have to target them using their class name. Height 100 pixels, width 150 pixels, background color it's gonna be, I think, a little darker, this one. So as you can see, my grid is stacked right now, so I have to put my grid side by side. Okay, so for this I have to use a float property again. Okay, so first of all I have to apply the float property. Width should be, I guess, 250 pixels or 350 pixels. Float left. Margin 10 pixels. Height should be 150 pixels. Width should be lesser than that. Pixels, or I should increase the width as well. Six, 7, 8, 9. I guess the 8 looks perfect. Alright, so now I have to fix this container, the grid container that has been showing, because I just applied the float property, and as you know, the floated elements are taken out of the normal page flow as soon as you apply the float property. So I have to fix this. So right now it's assuming that these grids, these boxes are not the child elements of it. So all I have to do is to clear the float once again. So I have already written the clear rule, so I'll be reusing the same rule once again. Grid container after, and then comma separation. I use comma to separate these rules. I'm targeting this one, the grid container as well as the circle container. Alright, so as you can see, the grid container has also been fixed, and everything looks perfect now. So I have to remove this border now because it's not required now. Border has been removed. So now I have to target the footer. I forgot to write its markup actually, so let me write it down. Footer. Okay, so now I have to target my footer. Height is gonna be 200 pixels, and background color is gonna be dark gray. This one. Okay, here's the footer, and I should add up some margin top to this footer, so it can look like same as it is. I mean, to this one, it's a smaller image, so that's why you cannot see the bigger margin. So it's a bigger image. I mean, it's a real file, so I have to add up some margin at the top. So all I have to do is to add margin top property. Margin top 70 pixels. Perfect. All right. So as you can see, we have successfully created this layout number 2. So hope you like this video tutorial, and if you get confused or stuck anywhere, so you can ask me, so I would help you out with that. All right then, take care, bye bye.